We're now live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Shropshire Pension Fund board meeting. And before we start the official meeting, please note that the public part of this meeting is being live streamed and recorded. Thank you. We'll now go to agenda item 1, apologies and introductions. I don't think we've got any apologies, have we, Michelle?
We have no apologies.
Thank you. With a new employer member present, we'll quickly go around the room and introduce ourselves so that everybody knows everybody. I'll start with myself. I'm Dave Wright. I'm a members representative and I'm going to chair the meeting today. Over to you, John.
I'm John Hall. I'm also a members representative.
B. Kelton, and the Pensions Investment and Responsible Investment Manager.
And I'm Liz Fury. I'm an employer representative and I work at Harper Adams.
I'm Tricia Slater, employee representative, and I work for Empower Multi Academy Trust.
I'm Alison Grange, the Communications and Governance Team Leader.
I'm Vicky Jenks, the Pensions Administration Manager.
Now, I'm Justin Bridges. I'm the head of pensions.
Good then to Michelle.
I'm Michelle Johnston. I'm Committee Officer for Shropshire Council.
Madeline.
Hi, I'm Madeline Murphy, employer representative, the Wrekin Housing Group.
Thank you all. Go to item 2, declaration of conflicts of interest. Members are reminded that they should declare any interest which may lead to conflicts of interest in the subject area of any specific agenda item on the meeting. A conflict of interest is defined as a financial or other interest which is likely to prejudice a person's exercise of functions as a member of the pensions board. It does not include a financial or other interest arising merely by virtue of the person being a member of the local government pension scheme. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest, please?
No.
No, thank you. We then move on to agenda item 3, the minutes of the meeting held on Friday, the 19th of July 24. That's pages 1 to 3 of your document pack. Can I firstly confirm that you've all received those minutes?
Yes.
Confirmed, thank you. Can I confirm that those personnel who was at the meeting, that they are a true record of the meeting?
Yes.
Confirmed, thank you. So are there any matters arising from those minutes which are not covered by today's agenda? None from members? There's a couple I've got. On page 2, paragraph 3, improving data training, etc. To better match records, will there be an update on this during the meeting?
There is an update on work for Pensions Dashboard, which includes data quality.
Okay, thank you. And the last one in there is paragraph 5, the merging of personal records, where you hold more than one record for a member. So is that still ongoing? You were merging all the records where you had one person have 2 or 3 records on the minute.
So I think that's from a payroll perspective. So yes, we do look to make sure that records are matched and merged. So yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So can we count those minutes as a true record and we're all agreed on, yes? I can sign them off.
Yeah.
Thank you. Item agenda number 4, public question time. I don't think there are any public questions today.
No, we've received no public questions.
Thank you. Item 5, agenda item 5, the administration and regulatory updates. which is covers in pages 5 to 18 of your document pack. I think it's over to Vicky.
Thank you, Chair. This report gives you an update on the work of the administration team. It also talks about the measures that we've got in place to make sure that the service is being delivered adequately to members. The first part of the report that I want to draw your attention to is the information on our key performance indicators. So Appendix A gives you the chart for a number of workflows that we work through. So that's talking about retirement, work for when people leave, transfers, death benefits, all those kinds of key tasks that we perform on a daily basis, and measures us to see how many of those cases we are achieving by the timescale. So 95% is our target. The information on the appendices A and the follow-up. We were asked at committee to provide some comparison between quarters, and that shows you on those documents on the appendices. So the first part of that shows you the number of cases that we're dealing with and how many we are achieving by our customer target. That is fairly ambitious compared to the legal targets. The customer targets are set within our administration strategy, and we are looking to do a review of those come the next 6 months, because the administration strategy is due for review. So we may be looking to kind of align those closer to the legal targets, so they're more realistic for the team. But as you can see, if we look at the legal targets, a lot of the workflows are achieving close to or above 95%. We have a couple of cases where we're not achieving that, and that is where when we talk later on in the report about resourcing, that we are now recruiting to 2 new pensions assistants to be able to tackle those ones that we're not achieving the 95%. So that they should be in place hopefully in the new year and help us to bring those targets up. So in particular, the cases we're talking about transfers and we're talking about deferred calculations. These are high volume areas now, because we do get more people kind of coming in and out of the fund. That people are definitely more transient with work, have more than one pension coming into the scheme as well. So when I first started in pension, someone would be in a job and they would maybe look to transfer one pension. Now they're coming in and they've got 2 or 3, so that does increase the volume of work that the team need to do. And they don't tend to stay in jobs as long, so they will leave, come and go in the fund a bit more frequently as well. So that's kind of impacted on the workload across the team. So the other things to draw attention to on the report is obviously the work that we've been doing on cybersecurity. The fund created its own policy, which was signed off by committee in June. That was tested in September with the council's risk team, alongside our business continuity plan, so our business improvement analysis and service recovery plan. So we had some comments from the risk team just to tweak some of the information in those plans, but other than that, they were happy that we've got robust processes in place should anything happen to the service, if it's disrupted in any way. We've been doing lots of work, on updating our member online service, so the portal where members can log in and look at their pension details. The facility has been upgraded. We did that work in October. We did a soft launch with pensioners. So we sent out a newsletter to pensioners to let them know that that's been updated, so that we could kind of test the water on the types of queries that we might get from members trying to switch their accounts into the new facility or log in as a new member registering. So we've been able to tweak the information on the system that gives the instruction for members to do that work. And we're now looking to send out some information to those that were already registered to let them know it's been updated and let them know that they need to transfer accounts into the new facility. The reason why we kind of did that in a phased approach is that it can create a lot of work. We can get lots of queries, and what we've tried to do is tailor the communications so that it can help members help themselves to log into that facility and not have to contact the team if they've got registration problems. Obviously we have the help desk facility there to help members if they're still struggling, but we've managed to kind of reduce that need as much as possible. Projects wise, McLeod is still ongoing. We are now looking to create the work plan for the rectification cases. So these are the people that left in the remedy period, so that's 2014 to 2022, and need an underpin applying to their benefits, so the value of the benefit will change. We've identified the cases, we've worked through a couple of examples, and we're now trying to plan a resort to cover those cases. There's still some cases where we can't do work, particularly around transfers. So anyone who's transferred out of our scheme to another provider, or any transfers in that are impacted by McLeod, there's still developments in software that are outstanding that will be delivered in the next kind of 12 to 18 months. And there are some kind of guidance outstanding on some of these cases, so we await for that before we can actually complete all of the work for McLeod. Dashboards, that is moving along quite swiftly now. We have signed up for our ISP connection, so that is the connection that we need to for our software to connect to the ecosystem that then connects to the dashboards. So we will be implementing that from January, and that will enable us to go live for that connection by October 25. That's the date for public sector schemes. And the overall kind of DAP date, the data available point for members, where all schemes will be connected and people will be able to connect to dashboards, is October 26. So there's a that time frame now for pension schemes making sure that they're doing what they need to for dashboards is shortening, and we've really got that plan in place now to make sure that we're each month looking at what we should be doing and completing ready for dashboards. Part of that is data quality, so the better our data is, the better chance we have of people matching. So when they put in their find criteria, it will match to our pension scheme and they will be able to find their benefits. Any partial matches where data doesn't quite match will lead to inquiries coming into the team to investigate. So the better our data is, the less chance we have of queries coming into the team when there's partial matches. So we're doing an exercise on looking at our data. The biggest area that we have a problem with is addresses. If somebody moves and doesn't let us know about that change of address, our data goes out of date very quickly. So we are procuring for a tracing service to help us with that. So that will keep addresses updated quite regularly. And the other work that we do obviously is a constant plan of work with employers to make sure that the data that's coming through to us on a monthly basis is as good as it can be, is clean, and there's no issues with that data. It's the right data is received first time from employers, so any queries we have on data, we go back to employers to make sure that's corrected. So lots of work going on for dashboards, lots of work going on for McLeod, and also obviously our what we class as business as usual work. We're hoping that the new resources that we're getting in place, which will be in the new year, and by the time we've done the recruitment, the adverts are going out in the next week. That will help us to bring those KPIs that are not meeting that 95% target. Hopefully in the new year we'll see those achieving better results. I think that was all that I wanted to point out on that report. Happy to take any questions.
Okay, members, any questions for Vicky on the report, please?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, just briefly, in terms of the recruitment,
Yes.
we were looking for, I think, new staff as well as replacement staff at the September committee. Are those the ones that are likely to be imposed in the new year?
Yeah, so
recruit any of them?
yeah, so we've managed to replace existing staff this year. So we have had some replacements come in. We've had some promotions and then backfilling to do. So we've done that internally. We've also then been able to recruit to the backfills, and we've now got 2 additional pensions assistants that we're recruiting for. And we have on the communications team additional hours that have gone in for a member of the team. Someone who was working part-time is now working full-time, so that's really helpful. We do have another vacancy, another pensions assistant post that we want to recruit to. What we want to do with that particular post is create almost like a floating pensions assistant who can work across all 3 teams. So we're just establishing a kind of work plan for that person, and looking at what we have going on through the year and what we've got coming up project work. So we just want to establish that work plan first before we then look for that person. So we have 1 vacancy that we're not advertising just yet, but we will be doing that in the new year as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be an interesting job description for that person.
Um,
You're doing it across 3 areas.
Well, they are a generic job description for pensions assistant. They're not specific to team, but it is just about us kind of looking at what work we would be giving them to do. So if they're on one specific team, it's obvious as a pensions assistant they will be doing this, this, and this. But if you're working across all 3, it's more to do with kind of the project-based work rather than doing the day-to-day stuff, but then being a backup for if we needed to put someone in place, if a pension assistant was off and we needed cover, that they could also do that work as well. So that's what we're just trying to kind of get in our minds for the work plan for that person.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for that, Vicky. Are there any other questions for Vicky, please?
I just wanted to ask on the tables in the appendix, which I really like, and I like a bit of coding. Is I can see that you can on the line chart you can see quite easily the comparison between the last quarter and the current quarter, but on the table, is that a cumulative table? Because it's then quite hard to drill down into how the volume of work is changing each quarter.
Yeah.
So is there a way of, I don't want to have 14 million tables, but is there a way of having that as well, just so that you can see kind of the volumes that are coming in each quarter? Because I'm guessing they change depending on kind of scheme,
what's going on.
And
So the work that we've done, so committee obviously asked for more information about being able to look at each quarter, the work that's going on. So we've created that one chart, but the chart above will be changed so that you can see quarterly as well. So you'll be able to see the number of cases coming in and the numbers that are actually completed in that quarter. So we are doing more work on the information that we're showing you because we want it to be useful. We want you to be able to see, well, why is this quarter better or worse than the other one? And then from that we can explain, well, actually we've got this going on this year, so our priorities changed and we weren't focusing on the KPIs as much as we could be. So there will be more information coming in on the kind of what we show in these charts.
Amazing. And the other one was just around how you prioritise your workload. If something's already gone over its SLA, does that kind of get put to the bottom of a pile and you then prioritise stuff that's already in SLA? It was just how you.
So this is an area where we are trying to talk with what we class as the operations team currently that cover this work about how we split the work out, because at the minute it's done on an alpha split. So each individual team member has a certain split of the alphabet that they work on. And they are multifunctional, so they work on deaths, transfers, retirements. And our focus is always to make sure retirement's a priority, that benefits get paid. So that does mean that transfers slip. And so we do need to think about how we prioritise work in the sense that, well, transfers should have their own priority of being processed because they shouldn't always be put to the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
For this year, transfers have been a bit of an issue because we've had lots of outstanding guidance and things going on with the cloud that has delayed us being able to transfer these, process these transfer cases. But we are talking to the team about auto allocation, so they won't have a list that's an alpha split. It's all in one kind of list where people will be allocated work according to their availability.
Okay.
And that way, nothing gets missed, nothing gets cherry picked. It gets allocated, and that person has to deal with it. So that for me is a much better way of dealing with cases, and also making sure that cases are dealt with in their priority.
Yeah.
We have seen a massive influx of retirements this year. We've seen a big increase in people that have got deferred benefits asking for payment of those early. So that obviously impacts on volume of work coming in. So we say we need to make sure benefits are paid to people as a priority, but we can't then let other things slip.
Yeah.
So the way that we deal with work, we're looking to change that, because we don't feel there's an even priority across those different tasks.
That's really helpful, thank you. And just very quickly on the dashboard, because we're not living and breathing the dashboard like I'm sure you guys are, I can't keep in my head the dates, and I really like the project updates that you've got. Could we get in there the date that it all goes live? Or
yes, we can put kind of an end date in there for the timescales. So the timescales are set in legislation at the minute. So we are set to making sure we've got our connection ready by October 25, but the date that it goes live to everybody, so all pension schemes being connected and members being able to log on to a dashboard and see their pensions information, is October 26.
Okay.
So those are the two key dates.
Yeah.
And we're obviously doing our implementation next year to make sure we're ready for October 25.
Yeah. So what happens then between October 25 and 26?
So there's got to be a switch on. So between October 25 and 26, the timescales for pension schemes was kind of phased. So public sector's October 25, and then all the other schemes that are available have got different dates that they need to connect by. So it's almost like in a holding phase then. We're connected, we'll be doing some testing to make sure there are members that can access and test for us, that they can get on and see benefits. So there will be some of that work going on, and then obviously we wait. The government will need to give us a 6-month heads up of the date that it will actually go live, and then we'll start rolling out communications to members to say, look out for this.
So we in some ways are quite lucky that we're going to get quite a long testing period, I guess.
Yes, it gives us that opportunity to kind of just tweak things. And also with the matching criteria, we could do lots of testing on that to make sure we kind of get the highest success rate for match. And that will mean that we've got that opportunity to do that testing on our own data as well.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Vicky. Any more questions for Vicky?
Just fairly quick one. Looking at Appendix A, the issue about deaths, initial letter acknowledging and amount of benefit, very good results, but not 100%. And I would have thought around people requiring benefits to start, or possibly us requiring stopping benefits. Those are sort of quite important figures. Are there particular problems with the cases that have not been resolved within the timescale?
There can be some complications with certain cases, depending on the member benefits. Sometimes it's just a delay in calculating the value of the benefits because there's something slightly odd on the record, or it's a pension that's been in payment for a long time. And for certain cases, we still hold information on microfiche. So it's actually coming into the building and actually finding that information and getting that onto the record. Obviously, we're all working from home at the minute, so it can take some time to organise that sometimes. But we have a project in place now to get microfiche imaged, so that will make that process quicker. So hopefully some of those cases that are delayed, if it's relating to that, will come down. But sometimes it is around complications within certain cases, and it can take more time to kind of get to the value of what those benefits are. We also have complications with marital status. So if someone's a cohabiting partner, we can't always confirm value of benefits straight away because we need evidence to confirm that cohabitation. And that can take some time to get through as well, because there's a certain criteria of information that we need to receive, and some people aren't in a very good place at that point in time to be asking them for lots of things and getting that through quickly. So
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you for that. Members are requested to note the contents of the report with or without comment. We've had lots of comments, so thank you very much for that. Noted. Noted, thank you.
Noted.
Agenda item number 6. Excuse me. Yeah. An update from the pension board chairs meeting. Can you confirm first of all that you've all received a copy of that? I know it was sent out with the documents by Michelle. All confirmed?
Yeah.
Give you a couple of minutes to read it if you haven't read it. It's not in that pack, please, I'm afraid. It was a separate document sent out. This is the LGPS central funds. All the chairs get together. John stood in for me and Justin was online as well. Give you a couple of minutes to read it. Have you got any questions, Eamon, John or Justin?
Yeah.
There is an interesting part actually in the report. It's a scheme advisory board document which is embedded in there, and that gives us some very good figures, I think, of the number of members and how much funds are and how much it's grown over the last year. It's quite an interesting report, but it's embedded within the minutes which Heidi sent out.
I suppose the other thing, Chair, if I may, is obviously the ongoing pensions review, which was announced, but we don't know any further information. We were expecting some announcements in the budget on the 30th of October. There's very little announcing that. There is a Mansion House speech next Thursday, 14th of November. So potentially there could be some announcements from the Chancellor in the Mansion House speech. But we're expecting the report from phase 1 of the review before the end of the year. So that'll give us a lot more details about, there's a lot of talk about more investment in the UK to drive economic growth, progression with pension funds pooling assets with the pooling companies. But we don't know any further details on that yet. So probably be by January, the next board meeting, we'll have some further information on the first stage of the pensions review that we can share.
Thank you for that, Justin. I think you've all read the report. Are there any questions on the chairs meeting? They happen about every 3 to 6 months. They're quite good meetings because obviously you do get all the updates.
Can I just make a comment?
Certainly.
Which is a very significant change with the guard, actually, because there's a new chair for the chairs committee. Not only that, we had presentation from LGPS Central, and that's a new team as well. And I think they're intending to bring a rather different approach to their predecessors, which is going to be much more client focused. So I think we need to just wait and see how that turns out and what difference that makes. So 2 fairly big changes.
I don't know if they give the date for the next meeting, did they?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, the next week, 24th of March. 25 is the next meeting.
Yeah. Right. Are there any questions? Other questions? Okay, thank you for that. We're not going to do anything with that one. Item 7 on the agenda is the Shropshire Pension Fund Committee reports and the feedback. There was a meeting on Friday the September 24. I know John and myself attended the meeting remotely. I don't know if anybody else was online. Couldn't see anybody else.
I did part of it, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Have you got any questions on those minutes or documents which was given to the pensions committee? And if you've all read them, you can watch the public part online, of course. And I must admit, the committee was a very, very full agenda. Ran for a long time. The only question I've got are the two Telford and Wrekin members. Have they actually, has it all been sorted now? Because it was
Yeah.
waiting for, and they're all both on the rear, are they?
Yeah, so they've had their cabinet meeting. So at the next meeting on the 6th of December, we'll be appointing the vice chair. That had to get deferred because it was in place by then. So,
Okay.
but yeah, the members have been, and substitute members have been named now. They did actually attend the meeting, but didn't also.
Yeah, I saw them on the
vote.
meeting, but
Yeah.
they couldn't vote.
Yeah.
Very funny situation to be in. You can attend a meeting, but you can't vote, but you're a member. Okay, thank you for that. Any questions? Any other questions? Okay. We'll go to item 8, the date of the next meeting. The next pension board meeting is on Friday, the 25th of January, and it will start at 10:00 hours. Agenda item 9. This is the exclusion of the press and public. To resolve that in accordance with the provision of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, Section 5 of the Local Authorities, brackets executive arrangement, brackets meetings and access to information, brackets England, regulations and paragraph 3 of the Council's access to information rules, the public and press be excluded during consideration of the following items. Can I have a proposer, please? Well, I'll propose it. Seconder?
Yep.
John will second. Thank you. Can we all agree that we exclude the press and public? Thank you. Carried.